Broadcasting from Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, you're watching Mustang News.
Hello and welcome to a special 30-minute best of edition of Mustang News. I'm Alexa Bruington.
And I'm Allison Edmonds. These are the top stories from fall quarter. Slow Solidarity, a student social justice movement, has been one of the most talked about changes of the quarter, both on campus and social media. Allison Royal has more on their fight against hate.
Where they, after an event, there's a little cute open forum, and I think those forums are important, but has anyone ever seen any real change come out of those? I mean, I don't know if it happens.
Slow Solidarity gained momentum after students wrote hurtful comments regarding minorities on a free speech wall on Dexter Lawn. The student-driven movement hosted an open mic session at the University Union on Sunday.
Diversity is a problem, and I went back to my high school a couple weeks ago and they were telling me that they didn't want to apply because they want somewhere where they actually fit in and where they feel that connection.
Students came forward to share their thoughts on the campus climate, diversity, and where they want to see change.
That is that we've been saying the same things for years and no one's been listening to what we've been saying. We have a real opportunity now to create change by maintaining this pressure.
Some speakers wish to see more diversity in fraternity and sorority life and ASI, as well as more resources for low-income students.
I don't affiliate with any of the groups that were disparaged. I was personally just devastated by what was said.
Students decided on a horizontal organization system where everyone involved with the movement will have a say.
So we're not going to attack your free speech. What we want to do is attack the campus climate that has students who want to say these hurtful things.
Prompter ready.
Slow Solidarity has been the talk of campus these past few weeks, most recently because of a death threat made to student organizer Matt Kelpfer. Students and faculty marched in solidarity on Thursday morning of Dead Week with stickers saying no place for hate.
Faculty and staff were fed up with administration after they did not receive a large enough raise. The California Faculty Association voted by an overwhelming majority vote. This means that the Cal Poly faculty will strike if the deal with administration falls through. The CFA plans to do a rolling strike, which means that each school will strike on a particular day.
Cal Poly made headlines when hundreds of students and faculty quickly came together for a last-minute protest against transphobic and racist comments on Dexter Lawn on Wednesday, November 11th. Little did they know this would be the start of Slow Solidarity. Allison Royal has the story.
When I first came to Cal Poly, my mom told me the white kids are going to treat you like this, the other kids are going to treat you like that, they're going to say this, they're going to say that, they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. I thought that she was over-exaggerating, but I'm a third year now, and in my 2.5 years at this campus, I've experienced everything she has ever told me about.
But there needs to be more people that care about this, and more people willing to take action about it, because these kinds of things, they happen on campus every day. I hear these comments made. I see people acting hatefully, and nothing's being done, or what is done isn't enough.
I identify as non-binary, and one of the comments on there was that you either had to choose male or female as your gender identity, and everything else was invalid, and I felt attacked by that, and I felt unsafe.
My reaction was that I just wasn't surprised. Definitely disgusted, but not surprised.
I felt like something still needed to be done, that a conversation still needed to be started about this, or else it would have been swept under the rug and nobody would talk about it.
As soon as we speak out against it, I'm the angry black woman, or they're being too upset, they're being too sensitive, they have a chip on their shoulder. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. You clearly have a chip on your shoulder because you can't get over the fact that I'm black, I'm strong, and I'm smart. You can't get over the fact that there's Latina, there's Asian, there's LGBTQIA people who are strong, smart, independent, doing things, and we may be doing more than you, and you're afraid of that, you're scared of that, and it's like that's what you need to deal with within yourself.
Everyone on this campus can have a stake in bringing change.
For students to ride on, later released a statement saying that it was simply to commemorate the fall of the Berlin Wall and that they applaud Slow Solidarity for exercising their First Amendment rights.
A Cal Poly and Cuesta College student each suffered a single stab wound at the beginning of fall quarter. The incident occurred near the entrance of Mustang Village. Both victims were attending a private event at the Alpha Gamma Rho fraternity house. One of the suspects attempted to enter the event but was denied. The suspect then engaged in a physical fight with one of the victims and fled when it was broken up. The two victims were walking along Foothill Boulevard shortly after when they were approached by an original suspect and a second who started a fight with the victims and stabbed both of them in the upper torso before fleeing down California Boulevard. The victims were treated with non-life-threatening injuries.
5 cases of viral meningitis were reported on Cal Poly's campus this quarter. A campus-wide email went out a few weeks ago to alert students of the outbreak. 12 total cases have been reported in San Luis Obispo since September. Viral meningitis is transferred through close contact, which means it can spread quickly on college campuses. If you experience a headache accompanied by a stiff neck and fatigue, among other symptoms, you should immediately go to the hospital. Viral meningitis is treated with rest and fluids and usually has a 2-week recovery rate.
2 surface lots in the Cal Poly Grand Avenue entrance are permanently closed for construction on new student housing. Reporter Clara Knapp has more on how less parking is affecting students.
I asked some Cal Poly students how they felt about the parking lot closures during the first week of school. Although administration sent out a campus-wide email last week alerting the Cal Poly community to the lot closures, some students said they were surprised by the lack of available parking.
I was expecting it to be worse than last year, but not as bad as it was when I got here.
The closure of the Grand Avenue lots means that students now have to park in lots that are farther away from campus.
Well, I came in at like 8:30 and I had to park like way over by PCV almost.
Some students said parking could and should be improved.
Just getting on campus, like how they direct traffic, I think that could go a lot smoother.
Cheaper parking passes and maybe a better, bigger structure.
This is Clara Knapp, Mustang News.
You can check mustangnews.net for continuous updates on campus parking.
Coming up,
students will face a graduation fee increase.
Well, all
students are helping a young
stand.
San Luis Obispo County resident in his fight against cancer. Find out more after the break.
They said in there that they weren't going to go to break and they were just going to have you go read from your camera.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Cal Poly students graduating this fall may be surprised to see a new mandatory commencement fee. Students will automatically be charged a $90 fee once they have completed 75% of the coursework toward their degree. The university will collect the fee whether or not a student plans to participate in the ceremony. The fee increase will include the 10 tickets students are given for their graduation ceremony. The fee does not include a cap and gown or any other items students may want to purchase.
It did increase to $90. It was actually the first increase that we've had on our campus for commencement in over a decade. So it was due time for a fee increase to cover all of the expenses related to commencement.
Students who receive financial aid can have the fee waived.
Cal Poly received the Water Efficiency Site Water Quality Sustainability Award at the California Higher Education Sustainability Conference in San Francisco. According to a Cal Poly press release, in line with the drought plan, Cal Poly has installed low-flow fixtures, replacement dyeing equipment, and removed 13 of 48 acres of turf on campus. Combined together, these projects will save 119.7 acre-feet of water, approximately 39 million gallons every year. A new irrigation control system is also being implemented, which will measure rainfall and adjust watering schedules to certain zones. The competition was open to 112 community colleges and 23 California state universities and 10 universities of California campuses. This is the third time Cal Poly has won in the water efficiency category. When the drought is over, the university plans to replace the turf with climate-appropriate plants.
Cal Poly recently hired a 25-year higher education veteran as the new dean of students. 4 finalists from across the country visited Cal Poly this quarter to present their vision of how they plan to inspire all students to embrace their unlimited possibilities. This area of student affairs promotes student development and leadership, enhances student success and retention, and facilitates a respectful, diverse, and inclusive campus. Last month, Kathleen N. McMahon was announced as the university's new Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. McMahon will begin at Cal Poly in February.
Dr. Laura Hossman and some Cal Poly students are working to bring digital libraries to rural communities in Micronesia. They told us how SPELL is changing lives on the other side of the world.
I got involved with SPELL through knowing Dr. Hossman and then applied to take this liberal arts and engineering studies course where all we did was work on SPELL.
I checked it out and actually was really intrigued by what my professor was doing, Professor Hossman. She was developing these solar-powered educational learning libraries in order to deploy them into the Pacific region, specifically in Micronesia and Vanuatu. I designed the first iteration of the device.
So they're not actually that technically complicated at all, right? It doesn't take a lot of different skills. You know, a political scientist like me can put it together, right? That's the whole idea, is that it is as basic as humanly possible. So here's how it works. Just turn this on, you can see the blinking lights. The computer has an SD card, a 32 gigabyte SD card, that we have loaded educational content onto in the form of a website. So it creates a Wi-Fi hotspot that's actually offline, but you can connect to it with any device that could connect to the internet. So any smartphone, any tablet, any laptop, any computer. I'm trying to bring in as many students to want to work on this as possible because we have a lot of plans for growing. It's also completely and utterly amazing and wonderful and awesome when those students get to come with me and see that for themselves. There's nothing like that on earth.
We brought 25 libraries with us, so now I have a face to each library of the volunteer that is using that in their community. I know like the children that this is helping that thanked us over and over again, and the teachers that got to use the different materials and were really excited about it. Seeing a little kid like watch a video, even though all the videos are educational, it's still fun for them.
I definitely want to be as invested as possible because it was a life-changing trip for me.
It's incredible when people are very grateful, and it really makes you feel like you're making a difference in the world, making it a better place.
Dr. Hossman and her students will build 30 SPELL devices at an appropriate tech workshop on Saturday, October 24th from 2 to 6 p.m. Hossman will be traveling to Micronesia again with more devices later this year.
Cal Poly's cross-cultural centers and more than 30 on-campus clubs and organizations hosted the annual Culture Fest earlier this quarter. The festival was filled with live performances, food, and many other activities.
Culture Fest is to kind of showcase Cal Poly's cultural presence. Here it's not very well known that Cal Poly has these cultural orgs, and so this is a chance for the community and Cal Poly to see the different cultural organizations and clubs that are on campus.
People should expect to see some culture at Cal Poly. We have like all the different cultural orgs here, and we have like tons of really cool performers and food and crafts, and it's really awesome.
DJ Pochira is, she's DJing, and so she's a Brazilian funk DJ.
She spins Brazilian funk, and she brought her dancer along with her too, so she'll be dancing samba. The theme of this Culture Fest is Carnaval, and it's Brazil Carnaval, so we have a lot of colorful things going on, and a lot of that vibe, a lot of like festivity vibe.
As much as Cal Poly kind of has a reputation for being ethnically homogenous, that they see that Cal Poly does have diversity and there is a presence here and that we are involved in student life.
Cultural Center raised about $3,000 from sponsors, which were all used in preparation for the event.
Zeta Beta Tau hosted a fundraising event on Monday for a boy with leukemia. 3-year-old Mateo was diagnosed on September 23rd in 2013 with acute lymphoblastic leukemia 11 days before his second birthday. Once the family heard the diagnosis, they immediately sought treatment for Mateo. The treatment will be completed by next December, and Mateo is still going strong.
His attitude, and he's just so positive and rambunctious in regards to his treatment and how he lives his life. You look at him and he's just like any other 3-year-old running around, having fun.
Over the last 2 years, ZBT raised $7,000 for Mateo, including $3,500 on Monday night.
Coming up after the break, landscape architecture students have a lot to be proud of.
And next, reporter Tom Nork visited student experimental farms on campus. Find out how the program is benefiting students' senior projects.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
The poultry enterprise faced unusual challenges fall quarter because of the closing of Hagen's grocery stores. In addition to coop renovations due to new cage size requirements, Cal Poly's egg producers are looking for new stores to pick up the slack in sales. Hagen's stores closed a short time after they were converted from Albertsons markets. The poultry unit supplies local markets with 3,000 dozen eggs per week. In addition to eggs, the enterprise supplies Foster Farms with Cal Poly chickens.
One teacher is leading community members and students at a unique plot of farmland on campus. Physics professor Pete Schwartz doesn't dress or act like a typical physics faculty member either. A passion of his is sustainability. He hosts work days on 2-acre organic farms for students and community members to work on various projects around the farm. Projects on the farm include natural building materials, drought-resistant studies, solar ovens, and aquaponics. Workdays are Sundays starting at 10 a.m.
Last October, reporter Chloe Carlson caught up with the Crops Club to see what they had planned for Halloween at Cal Poly. The results? A little scary. The Cal Poly Crops Club has taken a traditional fall-time activity and added a unique twist to it. The club opened its annual corn maze as a way to kick off this Halloween season. She had the opportunity to sit down with some members at the maze before things got a little spooky.
The Cal Poly Crops Club has taken a traditional fall-time activity and added a unique twist to it. The club opened its annual corn maze as a way to kick off this Halloween season. I had the opportunity to sit down with some members at the maze before things got a little spooky.
When we open up at 6 o'clock, we like to have families, kids come through, and then it's about 7 to 7:30 when it gets dark, and we make sure all the kids that don't want to be scared get out of the maze and able to take their time. Yeah. Oh my!
That was President Joe Chambers. So here's the twist. After dusk, members dress in creative and scary Halloween costumes and hide throughout the maze to scare those willing to brave the horror at night.
As you can see, it's very scary, and it's even worse at night. And it's always fun to jump out of corn with something like this on.
Crops Club treasurer Alec Rohr said because of the support the club received this year, the maze turned out to be one of the more successful mazes that they have put together, which has led to an increase in scare factor.
It's always kind of fun to see people stumble or really just get surprised, or kind of just any kind of reaction is usually funny.
Many corn maze goers said the maze was more scary than they expected.
With the chainsaw, for sure. I mean, they were all pretty scary, but he was, yeah, I don't know why it freaked me out so much, but he was pretty freaky.
Student Liesel Scherhall said the maze took her and her friends a total of 20 minutes. Tickets are sold at the event and are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. The proceeds go directly back to Crops Club and even benefit a scholarship fund for the club.
Along with Corn Maze, Crops Club also hosted a pumpkin patch for students and the SLO community. President Joe Chambers said the event was great for students because it served as an alternative to drinking.
Cal Poly's Landscape Architecture Department had a reason to celebrate this year. Allison Royal has the story.
The Cal Poly Landscape Architecture Department ranked 4th in the country.
It makes you feel proud to go to Cal Poly, proud to call yourself a landscape architecture student.
Design Intelligence asked real-world employers where they like to hire their landscape architects from, and students don't seem surprised to see Cal Poly on the list again.
I think that's awesome, and it makes me more excited to know like this is where I'll graduate from, more excited to feel like I'll be able to get a job.
Understanding how a space is used by people, by animals, the movement of water, it has a lot of different aspects to it.
Omar Faruqi is the head of the accredited department. He says the diverse curriculum prepares students for the professional world.
It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but in the end it's worth it because you create really beautiful things and you get to see yourself develop, and I think that's a really special thing.
Students say their classmates become their friends.
It's a lot of fun. We have a really cool community here.
Favorite thing, I guess, is is just the people. I think all the professors and all the students, like people that are here before me, it's really like communal. Everyone wants everyone else to do well.
Allison Royal, Mustang News.
The department also received the highest ranking in the Western United States this year. And we'll be right back after the break.
Bring to my company.
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
With their first time scoring 3 goals against the Gauchos since a 3-0 triumph back in 2000, Cal Poly once again had a sellout blue-green rivalry game at Spano Stadium this year. 11,075 spectators, an attendance that marks the 12th largest regular season crowd in the NCAA season history.
I'm here at Spano Stadium where the UCSB Gauchos are taking on Cal Poly Mustangs on their home field. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. and the stadium is almost full as tickets are already sold out.
Just minutes after the Gauchos scored their first goal of the night, the Mustangs responded as junior defender Ruben Duran tapped the ball along the ground past UC Santa Barbara's goalkeeper for the equalizer. The next to fire was Cal Poly senior Kip Colvey, who scored off a defender's foot and into the upper right-hand corner of the net. As the tortillas flew and the clock grew closer to the 45-minute mark, the Gauchos found an equalizer of their own. Regular time ended the game in a tie, with both teams sitting at 2 goals apiece.
You need to give everything you have, all right, boys? Let's go. Let's go, man.
The first overtime concluded with no scores and remained a 2-2 tie. More than 103 minutes into the game, and without a goal in his first 58 collegiate games, senior defender Cody Wakasa headed a Jack O'Connor kick into the back of the UC Santa Barbara net, winning Saturday's match for Cal Poly.
My guy was marking me tight all game, and I finally got a little bit of room, just a little bit of separation, and the ball came perfectly to my head, and I luckily directed it in, so that was great. And then I just started running.
All the games that I've seen had to be in the top 2 or 3 college soccer games, if not the best college soccer game I've ever seen.
Alexa Bruington, Mustang News. And the blue-green rivalry didn't end there. The Mustangs took on the Gauchos again at Harder Stadium, where they repeated the quality and intensity of this game. The game ended in a tie with a goal from the Mustangs in the last 4 seconds of the second half.
Cal Poly senior midfielder and co-captain Chase Minter has been ballin' hard this season. Reporter Clara Knapp got the chance to hear his story and talk with him about his mindset as he approaches the end of his last season as a collegiate player.
Chase is a team leader,
but he's probably one of the most creative, dynamic, offensive-minded players in the country.
Surprisingly, it was the coach who is coaching now saw me play at a tournament in Dallas and ultimately convinced me to come out here and play. Coming out here from Texas was a long way from home, so it was really growing up and figuring out what I wanted to do, so it's been a lot of personal growth.
He's in the top 25 players that have been looked at for the Herman Mack Award, which is the top award for soccer in the United States. He's being looked at by a number of different MLS club teams.
Going in my 5th year, having played, for a lot of different games and a lot of big games and a lot of good teams, the biggest role I can play for this team is to try and use the experience I have and put it throughout to the team and just keep everybody calm and doing their jobs pretty much.
The creativity in his mind is truly exceptional. I mean, he does things with the ball that a lot of people dream of doing. He's literally a player that can make a difference in a game and has on so many different occasions for us. Northridge was a hard-fought game. We won 1-0, and literally the difference was Chase's individual effort on a bicycle kick.
My uncle had came for the game before, and my uncle's not much of a soccer guy, so he was asking, do you guys practice things like bicycle kicks and stuff like that? I was like, no, that thing doesn't really come up much in the game, so it's not really anything we practice. And sure enough, the next game I scored one.
It's considered one of the most difficult moves in all of sport, let alone just soccer, and he performed it perfectly, and that was the difference in the game.
It's just constantly kind of leading the team and by example, showing, kind of what to do on and off the field. It's memories I'll never forget, and I've met some of the greatest guys I know out here, so it's been a really rewarding experience for me, and I'm grateful for everything Cal Poly's done for me.
Winner on the Mustang soccer team had a successful season this year, with defeating rival UC Santa Barbara at home and then making it to the first round of the NCAA playoffs.
This fall, one freshman cross-country runner represented the Mustangs at the national meet in Louisville, Kentucky. Reporter Chloe Carlson caught up with Peyton Below before she headed off to Kentucky.
Coca-Cola's Cal Poly Student Athlete of the Week, Big West Conference Athlete of the Week, and Big West Conference Freshman of the Year for 2015. Respectable titles to earn in a cross-country career, but how about in just one season? And the best part, she's only a freshman.
Then once the race went off, I kind of got a good feel for where the other girls were, and I kind of realized with a mile to go that, okay, I got a pretty good shot at this, so I just decided to go for it.
Below is one of 38 women individually selected across the country to compete in the NCAA championship, and she was more than surprised to learn she had earned the spot.
I finished my run, went to the locker room, checked my phone, all of a sudden I have a missed call from coach and 50 text messages and all these things congratulations, and I was like, oh my gosh, I made it. It was so exciting.
Below is competing in the 6K, and to give you an idea, that would be like running 15 laps around a standard track. This is the 16th time since 1995 Cal Poly Cross Country will be represented at nationals.
I feel so lucky and honored to just be healthy and be able to run how I've been able to this season, and just kind of surprise myself, and just really thankful for the good training and everything that the coaches have given me, and my teammates who pushed me in every workout. I think that's how I got to that point, which is great.
Chloe Carlson, Mustang News.
Peyton ended up scoring 172nd place. Her coaches said they are eager to see what she will accomplish in the years to come as a Mustang. And we'll be right back after the break.
2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home. Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend.
The monarch butterflies that arrived to the Central Coast in October are still here, and you can spot them through the second week of February.
7,000 to 8,000 in the Grove right now. Last week there might have only been 3,000. So this is the time of year when they're entering the Grove one by one. They don't come in big groups. They're coming in one at a time, and they are arriving.
You can visit monarchbutterfly.org for more information about these butterflies. And that's all the time we have for you today and the rest of the quarter. I'm Alexa Bruington.
And I'm Allison Edmonds. Tune into Charter Channel 2, UHTV Channel 4.1, and check MustangNews.net for continuous news coverage. Have a happy and safe holiday season. We'll see you winter quarter.